Okay, I've got a little project. It's not my idea. I got it off of Pure Living for Life from Jesse. He got it from somebody else off of YouTube. But what it's going to be is a chainsaw accessory. It's a measuring stick that goes on your chainsaw bar, and the only improvement I've made is this little screw that's got this pin sticking out of it. And this screw will hold the magnet onto the end of in my case, a fiberglass rod. There'll be a magnet on the end of it, and then that'll hold on to the bar of the chainsaw, and you use it to measure whatever length you want your firewood. In my case, it's 17 inches. In somebody else's case, well, you can make up different lengths. If you got more than one wood stove and they require different lengths, you can make up several of these different lengths. And they just snap onto the bar of the chainsaw. And they'll wiggle down and get into the blade. Well, I don't want that, but all the bars that I've got anyway, well, if it's the gasoline or the electric, have holes drilled in them. So I'm going to hold the magnet on with this screw that has a pin sticking out of it, and I'm going to put it in the hole of the bar. That way it can't jiggle down and get onto the chain, nor will it, if you bump it, it's not going to pop off. It don't pop off much anyway because these magnets are too strong, but it won't pop off at all unless I were to knock the pin completely out of the hole. Now, I made my screw out of a solid piece of steel, but now if you had a LeBlanc lathe with a brake on it, you could just friction weld a pin to a screw. I know I used to weld up to 3/8 diameter steel to steel on a LeBlanc at a factory I used to work in. It had a good brake on it and good high speed, and I could actually do friction weld with it. So in my case, I had to make mine out of a solid piece. But if you've got a high-speed lathe with a good brake on it, you could just friction weld a pin onto the head of a screw. So I'll show it being used, so you got a full idea of what it's all about. But that's the only improvement is this screw. I'll use Loctite when I put it on when I screw it together. It's the other side. When I screw it together, I'll use Loctite so it don't come apart. But you'll see it in action here in a few days. I cut an old dead tree down just so I could demonstrate it. Now, the tree I cut down, it's probably not even 6 or 8 inches in diameter, so I won't even have to take that off the blade if I don't want, off the bar if I don't want to. But if you had say one that's 12 inches or bigger in diameter, you could just use that to go down through and mark the log and then pop it off and then go back and cut your wood. But it's a neat accessory. I really like it. I just didn't like having to keep up with where it was on the bar, and that pin's going to make sure where it stays. So that's the slight improvement to a really good idea, in my opinion. Okay, for those of you that maybe were in the dark as to what this accessory is all about, it's to take the place of my measuring stick, and it's a lot quicker. Now, if this were a big log, all I would do is go through and mark it, like so. But since it's not a big log, I don't even have to take this off. If it was a big log, you'd have to take this off. Of course, it's just a magnet that's holding it on. But it's a lot quicker. In this case, like I say, I just leave it on and cut this. But anyway, you get the picture. That's a hell of a lot handier than that. And like I say, if it's big, you have to take it off. But it's not my idea. The only part that I contributed was that little pin that'll keep that thing from walking around and getting in the chain. That's all my contribution is that little point right there. But so much for that. That'll fit any of my saws, because the gas saws, they have holes in the bar too. So that's the idea, and it works great in my opinion. By the way, don't make fun of my electric saw. By the time that big battery's dead, my giddy up go's pretty much gone. On rare occasions I'll use 2 batteries, but I'm an old fart, so it don't take much to exhaust me anymore.